Some people think silence means emptiness, that if someone speaks less, they must have less to say. But in reality, quiet people often carry entire conversations inside their minds before a single word ever reaches the surface. Their silence is often misunderstood as distance, hesitation, or even weakness, when many times it is something very different. It is an observation. It is a caution. It is deep. It is the mind taking in more than it immediately releases. Not every thought needs to become sound the moment it appears. And for many quiet people, thoughts do not arrive in simple pieces. They come layered, connected, and often louder inside than anyone around them realizes. A quiet person may sit in a room and notice the tone behind someone's joke, the pause before someone answers, the emotion hidden in a small expression, while everyone else is only hearing words. This is why silence is often not emptiness at all. Sometimes it is the sign of a mind processing more than people expect. And psychology has long suggested that quieter personalities often experience a richer inner world because they spend more time reflecting before reacting. If you have ever been told you are too quiet, too reserved, or too hard to read, this may not be a flaw at all. It may simply mean your mind speaks in places others cannot hear. The first reason quiet people often carry the loudest thoughts is because they usually process deeply before they respond. Psychology shows that people with more reflective personalities often think through multiple layers of meaning before speaking. While some people speak while forming their thoughts, quiet people often finish the thinking first. That means a simple question can create a long internal chain of reflection. Someone asks, "How are you?" And instead of answering instantly, the quiet person may already be thinking about how honest to be, how much to explain, whether the other person truly wants to know, and what mood the room carries. This depth can make pauses look like uncertainty, but often it is actually careful awareness. Research indicates that reflective thinkers often prefer accuracy over speed in conversation. They would rather speak after understanding their own thoughts clearly than offer something incomplete. This is why quiet people sometimes surprise others when they finally speak. Because when they do, the thought has often already traveled through many internal filters. A person who says little in a meeting may suddenly offer the clearest idea in the room because they have been mentally connecting everything while others were speaking. Their silence was not absent, it was preparation. And this is a strength because in a world that often rewards quick reactions, deep thinking creates clarity many people miss. The second reason is that quiet people often notice more than they reveal. Research in personality psychology suggests that quieter individuals tend to observe social details more carefully before engaging. They often read environments before participating in them. That means while others are focused on being heard, quiet people are often focused on understanding. They notice who interrupts often, who changes energy when certain topics appear, who sounds confident but avoids eye contact, who laughs while hiding discomfort. This creates a mind that gathers details constantly. A quiet person at a family gathering may remember one small sentence someone said hours earlier because it carried emotion no one else noticed. Later, that sentence may stay in their thoughts far longer than anyone expects. This is why quiet people can seem calm outside while carrying a very active internal world. Their mind often keeps replaying patterns, words, and meanings. And because they do not always speak every observation, others may never know how much they noticed. But this sensitivity often makes them deeply understanding friends because they hear what is said and also what is left unsaid. Their silence often protects space for others to express themselves. That is not a weakness. That is quiet, emotional intelligence. The third reason is that quiet people often experience stronger inner dialogue. Psychology shows that internal dialogue plays a major role in how people interpret life, and quieter personalities often spend more time in that inner conversation. For some people, silence outside creates volume inside. A single event can lead to long reflection. A short interaction may continue internally for hours, not because they are overcomplicating everything, but because their mind naturally explores meaning deeply. A quiet person may leave a conversation and later think about what they should have said, what the other person may have felt, and what the moment really meant. This is why quiet people often seem thoughtful even when alone. Their mind rarely becomes empty. It keeps connecting ideas, memories, possibilities, and emotions. Sometimes this can feel exhausting, especially when thoughts become difficult to switch off, but it also creates creativity, insight, and originality. Many people who write deeply notice patterns clearly or understand complex emotions often spend long periods in internal thought. What feels like silence outside can actually be a mind-building understanding inside. And when quiet people learn not to judge this, they often discover that their inner world is one of their strongest gifts. The fourth reason is that quiet people often protect their words because words matter deeply to them. Research indicates that people who speak less often assign more value to what they choose to say. They know words can affect mood, relationships, and meaning. So instead of speaking to fill space, they often wait until something feels worth saying. This can be misunderstood by louder personalities who think constant speaking equals confidence. But many quiet people are not silent because they lack confidence. Sometimes they simply dislike unnecessary noise. A quiet friend may stay silent during casual debate not because they have no opinion, but because they know exactly how quickly words can create conflict. Then later, in a private moment, they may explain their thoughts with surprising depth. They often save honesty for spaces that feel safe. And when they trust someone, their voice often reveals just how much has been living beneath the surface. This careful relationship with language is powerful, because when words are chosen carefully, they often carry more weight. People tend to remember what quiet people say precisely because it is not constant. Their words arrive with intention, and intention creates impact. The fifth reason is that quiet people often carry emotions privately, which makes thoughts feel even louder. Psychology shows that many quiet individuals process emotion inwardly before expressing it outwardly. That means feelings may stay inside longer, mixing with thought. A small disappointment may become a reflection. A meaningful moment may become a memory. A hurtful comment may continue echoing quietly long after everyone else has forgotten it. This does not mean quiet people are fragile. It often means they feel deeply and choose carefully when to reveal it. A quiet person may seem unaffected in the moment, but later spend hours thinking about why something felt important. Because their emotional world and thought world often move together. And this private emotional depth often creates empathy. They understand what hidden feelings look like because they live with hidden feelings themselves. This is why quiet people often notice when someone says, "I'm fine," but clearly is not. They recognize what silence can hide because they know silence personally. And over time, this becomes one of their strongest human strengths. The ability to understand depth without demanding noise. So if you are someone whose mind feels loud while your voice stays soft, there is nothing wrong with you. Not every powerful mind arrives loudly. Not every deep person needs constant words. Sometimes strength looks like restraint. Sometimes awareness looks like silence. And sometimes the people saying the least are carrying the most thoughtful worlds inside them. Your silence does not erase your presence. Your quiet does not reduce your value. The world often celebrates the visible, But many important things happen invisibly first. Thought becomes understanding, understanding becomes wisdom, and wisdom often begins in silence. If this feels familiar, it may simply mean you have been carrying more depth than people around you realize. And that depth deserves respect, including from yourself. If you enjoyed this video, subscribe, like, and share it with someone who has a quiet mind and a deep inner world. There is often more strength in silence than the world first sees.